There's a slight change of plan where it is the same talk, but unfortunately we are unable to welcome 3 speakers because of the dread visa problems. This is the problem with, we've had a number of speakers outside of the EU have had some real visa problems. So I'm sorry to say that Hala Al-Afsa and Saleh Al-Asafan could not be here. However, we are very pleased to have Kinda Ghanum, and please join me in welcoming Kinda to talk to us about the Syrian Design Archive. Kinda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kinda Ghanum. I'm Syrian Polish. I grew up in Syria, surrounded by the beauty of Damascus. I graduated as an architect, but after graduation, I decided to shift my career into graphic design. As a self-taught designer, I always face a problem when it comes searching and learning about design in the Arab world. I noticed the concerning lack of information about designers in our region. And on top of that, in our education, we are only taught about foreigner designers rather than our own. But hopefully, nowadays it's getting better. While getting my master in graphic design in Belgium, I wanted to take the opportunity to research more about the Arabic visual identity, but it felt too big. So I decided to narrow it down to something I feel more connected and personal. And that led to me to focus more on a project that is about exploring, and that led me to a project focused on exploring the Syrian history in design. And this is where I faced 2 big problems. The first of all one was completely the absence of the proper education of archiving and documenting of the Syrian design. And second one, the most heartbreaking one, is the fact there were too many things lost and destroyed due to the war. So I had to start from the scratch and do it on my own. So I had to start from the scratch and do it on my own, the investigation. But I was lucky to end up having such a significant amount of data. And with this privilege came sense of responsibility to uncover the hidden treasure and bring them to light. The team came along as I shared the idea with my friend Hala Afsa and Salih Al-Asafin. Knowing both of them, they have the similar interest. And after engaging in a long discussion, the idea of the Syrian Design Archive became clearer. We came to the realization that there was a need of establish a platform where we could share our discovery and make them available to the public. The archive could serve as a pioneer in the field, preserving and promoting the Syrian design, filling the gap of the availability of the resources. And knowing the power of social media, we decided to establish a platform where people can reach it from all around the world and make it easier for them to reach. So we started by forming several accounts from the archive on Instagram and Facebook to test how see how everything will go. The project can be described as a source of Syrian graphic design that celebrates the form of unique design and heritage in Syria in the age of rapid technology evolution. The archive documents a range of print and unprinted matters. We ended up having several accounts that you can see here. One is for the print, one for the stamp, one for the media, one for the logo, and one for the street. So let's take a look into every section that we have in the archive. First one we have is the Syrian Type Archive. In this section, we are focusing on the signage design in Syrian streets. We are photographing and documenting the signage design, mostly vintage, from a printed shop signage to done by calligrapher, or curved stone signages and dimensional letters signage as well. So we document and we try to find who's behind those signage and from the calligrapher or designer, and in which year was made or who's behind it. But unfortunately, a lot of those signages were also destroyed. The second section is the Syrian Print Archive. Here we are focusing more on the type form matters in such as Syrian Printing House, and also printed works of Syrian graphic designers, artists inside and outside of Syria, books, cover magazines, business card, tickets, all of kinds of printed matters. And the exciting part of this work is the chance of stumble upon hidden gems. For example, here you can see the first women magazine that we found. It goes back to 1962. And we don't only archive the covers of the from outside, but we also dive into the books, and we document the titles and lettering that we can find in the books. The third is the Syrian Stamp Archive. In this section is the biggest one that we have. It's almost every stamp of this collection is from my own personal collection. I used to collect stamps when I was a kid. In this collection, we collect stamps and that were produced in Syria. We organize them into collection by year, production, designer, or occasion. Syrian stamps also highlight many aspects of the Syrian heritage, like famous historical sites, traditional clothing, like we can see it here. And also some of the collection are very rare one and done by famous artists, such as the one in the middle is done by a Syrian artist. It's called Nazir Naba, and it's highlight the children's stories, and it's back to 1967. Moving to the fourth section is the Syrian Media Archive. In this section, we specialize in archiving graphic design, famous graphic design lettering and typography used on the screen in commercials, songs, movies, and TV series. And there's a big issue with this archive that we cannot find the names behind the work that we can find. Moving to the last section, which is the logo archive. Here we are focusing to document the logos and trademarks that found in Syria, and we are trying to redraw them and make them available in higher resolution. Our journey started almost 2.5 years. It's been an amazing experience, and we are thankful to be learned so much, and we are continuing learning. And this is only the start. We were able in this 2 past years to connect with many people as we hoped. And people were start sharing their own personal archives, so to grow our data. And seeing the involvement of the people in the Syrian society and being able to shed some light on the graphic design in Syria was a big reward for us. We were part of several exhibitions, such as the Falak exhibition in Brussels, the graphic design collector from A to Z in Berlin, the TED in Arabic in Qatar, and it's all graphic in Amsterdam, and today we're here. We were featured and we could share our story in several magazines and online articles. And in order to grow and research and reach, in order to grow and reach more people, we collaborated with other archives such as the Biblioteca, the Archive of the Archives, the Lumion Council. And our mission is not end here. We are planning to establish a platform where we can share all this data and make it available for the student, for anyone who's interested to learn more about the Syrian design. We're also planning to create or to publish zines where we can share and highlight names from designers from Syria. And we're also trying to find and highlight female designers from Syria. And the most important things to us is like to share a story from Syria from another perspective, a perspective that the media nowadays never showed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very fast, I think. But then we have more time for questions. Do you have any questions for her? Who wants to make a question? Okay. So.
Hello. I have a question regarding to since it seems like it's a thing that you form like as a collective to do this archive. My question is that what is the most struggling part that you found? Like, is it like the budget or is the information that you have to go as a collective to ask for people? That kind of things. Thank you.
Okay, till now, like our project is self-funded project, so it's one of the things. But I think, like as mentioned in the beginning, the biggest problem for us is the lack of information, the lack of education that we have in our country that we don't know anything about, like archiving. We cannot access like proper like archives or places we can research. Like we only like this data that we have is like via a friend that we could collect. And also like the war that we had in Syria, also a lot of like materials were destroyed. So I think I hope that I answered your question.
Yes, pretty much. Thank you.
More questions? Okay, I have a question. I wonder, are you also trying to make a work of classification? Like, okay, when you have the categories, trying to identify different kind of letterings to the artists' styles. So you are also trying to make this kind of research to make the archive more accessible to people who, my case, for instance, I cannot read Arabic. So for me, it will be very interesting to go deeper, but with some guide. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That was like it's an ongoing plan, and that's why like the website is taking so long, because we need to learn, like we need to discover and learn how we're gonna classify things and how we can make it easier for people who wanna like learn and research. So it's like an ongoing project. Yeah.
So it's a life project for you,
definitely,
right?
Definitely.
I mean, because you are starting, you are doing it with a lot of passion and love, and
yeah.
and you hope that it will grow and more people will participate and
definitely.
And make people aware of the existence of this history of
exactly.
design.
We want to highlight like the things that we never been talked about even before.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Any more questions? Okay, so maybe, I don't know, we can have a little break then, and then we come back for the next talk. Thank you.
Thank you.